Hello everybody, this is Kyle and I'm here to review the 1999 film starring Reese Witherspoon, Matthew Broderick, and directed by Alexander Payne. I wanted to watch this movie because one, I've never seen it before, and two, I found a really great book at Barnes and Noble's that is called Best Movie Year Ever. It's about 1999 and films that came out in 1999 that were very almost revolutionary, yet also very kind of um, cognizant of future society and what problems we would still be facing in the at least North America and today. So, Election was in this book, and I had not seen Election, so I wanted to see it. I did not know this movie came out in 1999, and I I only remember hearing about it. I'd say about, I guess, maybe when I heard discussion about high school films, but I knew barely anything about it. I watched it last night and today, and I gotta say, this is one of the best high school films and one of the best comedies I think I've ever seen. Basically, the story, if you guys don't know, it's 20 years old, but if you guys don't know, it's about a bunch of different characters. It's kind of like if Game of Thrones was set in high school, so you have multiple different characters, and you have really the main two focus is the upstanding student Tracy Flick, played by Reese Witherspoon, and the teacher of the film, played by Matthew Broderick, named Mr. McAllister. And Tracy Flick wants to become the president of her student government, and it's a huge deal for her, and it's a huge deal for the school to become president of student government. And what happens with her and the election starts to get out of all types of weird and zany situations. Matthew Broderick's character starts to kind of resent Tracy Flick because she's so perfect, but yet she's ruining the lives of everyone around Matthew Broderick, including himself. And it's just such a great, it's almost, I would call it a dark comedy in like the in the, I guess you could call it the in the vein of kind of Heathers, or it's in the borderline of John Hughes, and I guess you could also say Greta Gerwig like comedies, Sofia Coppola like films. It's pretty much unlike something you've ever seen. You've never seen a movie like this until you see it, but I can clearly see a lot of movies nowadays that could have been inspired by this film. Lady Bird, for one. Um, it's a really, really well written film. Uh, it's based on a book. I believe it's a novel. It's not a short story, but the author of it's Tom Perrotta. I really want to read this novel because I'm very interested to see how different it is to the movie. Because a lot of times, especially in these types of cases, they'll have minor differences. When I was reading about it in the book that was talking about this film, it didn't sound like it was too different from it. But I really want to see where they came up with this story. But the screenplay is written and the movie is directed by Alexander Payne. Um, it's also co-written by Jim Taylor. And Alexander Payne, correct me if I'm wrong, I have not done any research on him, but I believe he is the director of The Descendants with George Clooney and Shailene Woodley, which was a movie I loved when I watched it when I was about maybe 12 years old when it came out. And I love that movie. So this film was pretty great. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 4 stars. You know what? I'll give it a 10 out of 10, and I'll give it an A plus. It is a great movie filled with some really funny scenes, and I recommend watching it. Another great movie from 1999. Okay, so have a nice day and put a smile on your face.